inventory is, and we are going to go see 2 people that they know, and we've invited 2 people that can potentially be on their team. I mean, at what lengths are you going to go to make this happen? That is going to determine how soon you are going to build a big base shop. Where are you going to make the exception? Oh, 24 to 48 hours, I'm free 2 Mondays from now. Dead. Dead. Dead.
Yes.
Gone.
Yes.
You're dumb if you believe that. Where are you going to make the exception? So when I heard it's 24 to 48 hours, and they say 2 Mondays from now or next Monday, I'd be like, let's go through your schedule, because I don't know if you understand, I'm more flexible than you think. I think we can find an hour. Right? Is it going to be on setting the appointments? The longer you go, I'm not saying it's not awkward, I'm not saying it's not a little tense for them, that they're a little nervous, but the longer you go, what happened? That fear builds up. Desiree, how did you feel about setting your first couple appointments?
It was amazing.
Yeah?
Amazing. Xander didn't give me too much information on what the presentation would look like. So we did it with a close family friend. And after that presentation, I had to get a policy myself. It was amazing.
Awesome. How did you set up those meetings? How were they set up?
It started off by a 3-way text message. And from then, Xander gave him a call, set up a scheduled time to set the meeting. He sent the invitation to both of our emails, and then we took it from there.
So you see the meeting, and then is what I'm talking about, is this just theory, or that actually happened? Like you saw it and you were like, hey, I can get behind this. This is something that I want to do.
This actually happened, and right after the family friend said that he wanted to get a policy and we rescheduled, he said, this is exactly what you need to be doing. I can see you doing this for sure.
That's what he said to you.
Mhm.
And then, of course, I think we've gotten better at this. Getting people scheduled, getting people in class. But here's the thing, man, about licensing, is we want to get good at this. This is the hard stuff. I think that for people, studying for a test, understanding you have to study, you have to schedule, you have to take it, that's a very normal thing. The unorthodox thing is, wait, I gotta go see someone, right? I have to give you my phone numbers. I have to tell other people about this. So the better you get at not making exceptions here. Now, when you get good, it's not a tug of war. It's it just flows. They watch the video, then very soon after you meet with them, very matter of fact, very assumptive. That word changed my life, because I didn't used to be assumptive. I used to ask, right? Hey, are you ready to get started? Creates a lot of tension. Hey, based on everything you told me, I know you're ready to get started, so here are the next steps. Assumptive. Dude, with your kind of credibility, the people we meet with, I know you're going to build a ton of support in your community. Let's go ahead and make those phone calls. Let's get out there. You're going to be so excited. All right, who's the first person we want to call? Assumptive. Or I can say, so with everything I've told you, are you ready to go on an appointment? Why am I putting that decision on him?
Oh my
It's in the
God.
same house.
Always operate from a standpoint of assumption. And it makes it easier for the people. Right? You're just moving forward. Before they know it, they've been on 3-4 appointments, they have 2-3 guests, they have some good activity coming around. And then, of course, we have this. So, what's next in the system?
Bringing people.
So, bringing people is important. Come to training. We'll go through these. Field training is important. One-on-one time is important. Always remember, Primerica is not hourly, so the people have to show up. So you have to put that effort in to kind of retain your team, and you have to build those relationships, because with a job, it's fear of loss. That's the emotion that's kind of keeping people in. If I don't go, I don't get my paycheck. That's a very, that's how they keep people. Here, we keep people based on relationships. We invest in people. They feel that investment. They feel the growth in themselves. They don't want to let us down, right? And we don't want to let them down. But someone told me a long time ago that a big base shop, the two ingredients to a big base shop is people bringing people, and I'm telling you this because I never forgot it, and hopefully you will never forget it. People bringing people, and high personal standards. That's it, man. So if I can have a bunch of people bringing people, and on top of that, I have people like Desiree starts to do $8,000 to $10,000 a month in personal premium. Xander doing $15,000 a month in personal premium. Sheila's doing $20,000 a month in personal premium. And then they're setting a standard, and then people are trying to uphold that standard. Nora's like, okay, that's what's normal in the office. I got to do my 8 to 10. Tia's got to do her 15 to 20. That combination is unstoppable. But the people bringing people is very important too, because that's the lifeblood of our business. This base shop, if you have 100 licenses and then you stop recruiting, what's going to happen? Some people quit. Why do people quit, by the way? When you're new and you've been here for a while and you love this thing, you're like, why would anyone quit? Well, why do people quit?
Not teach lack of motivation. They talk to family.
They don't believe it.
They talk to people. Not teachable. Not somebody.
Yeah, brainwashed.
Right. So, many different things. Those are the very obvious ones, but, you know, as a business, like, life happens, right? People get divorced. People have to move to another state. And maybe then going from in-person to Zoom, whatever. People get talked out of it. People lose confidence. So, at other businesses, they'll say people go to different companies. I think that happens in real estate a lot. So you own a RE/MAX, you have 100 realtors, maybe you don't have 100, but let's say you have 15, and then they get a package or a bonus to go to Long and Foster, you're losing people.
Right.
So people in real estate are quitting, and then they are leaving and going to other brokerages. The way recruiting works in real estate, yeah, you can get the single agents who want to try real estate, but that's not how the real people recruit. They literally take entire teams from other brokerages and bring them over. So if you follow real estate news, they'll be like, yeah, such and such high producing team is now in Corcoran, you know, lady from Shark Tank, right? She has a really big real estate business in New York. Like, she just took a $20 million producer with a team under, and then she shifts it over. That's what happens. In our business, that doesn't really happen, but the attrition is always there. That's the word for your business shrinking and your licenses going down. The attrition is always there. So we need the people bringing people, so we can add people at a higher rate than people are falling off. They're not falling off because Primerica is a bad business. They're falling off because in anything that you do, there's attrition. Any big company, hiring is important, HR is important. You have to understand that for your business as well. So as long as I know that Wednesday, that room is full, and Saturday, that room is full with the new guests, I know what? New guests turn into licenses, which turn into attendees, which turn into producers, which is gonna contribute to my base shop. And you have to be thinking the same thing. I'm trying to tie everything together so you understand how this business is built. The high personal standards, you have to set that for your team. People are going to do what you do. The best chance of someone finding someone to do 10K in premium, Sheila has that chance because she's done it the most and the longest, right? And so she deserves that, and it is going to happen. She is going to find big producers because that's what she has done. That's what she has earned. You have to create the standard that your team is going to meet. That's what leadership is. You got to do it first. I was the top recruiter in the company for years. It doesn't matter what I do now. I am allowed to expect Xander to be the top recruiter in the company. So you want to do big numbers by yourself so you can attract people to do the same thing. This is an attraction business. What's the cliche? You attract who you are, right? You don't attract who you want, you attract who you are. So you got to build yourself into that. The best ways to spend time with people is field training. Yeah, there's other stuff that we do to spend time. Before meetings and after meetings. Sometimes just outside interactions that we have with people, hanging out with people, whatever. But the best time is field training. That's when you really build a connection. You guys are doing something together. Always talk before a meeting, after a meeting, right? Look at the tape, whatever people say. Review the film. This is how we build bonds with people. But them just coming to trainings and none of this happening, again, the thing about trainings that's unique is it can actually keep people around for a very long time. The problem is if you're not doing these things, they don't actually become productive. So it's all this mix of, I want you to come to trainings, but we also got to be out in the field, and then we got to spend a little bit more of that time. That's what we're doing here. And a lot of us are recruiting people that we don't know, so it's like building a new relationship. You know how much time is spent in building a new relationship? So what questions do we have about this in terms of our system? What do we miss here? What else is important?
Teachability.
What's that?
Teachability.
Mm-hmm.
Willingness to learn.
So where would teachability fit in here? Are you just talking about an intangible that people have to have?
Orientation, the orientation at the beginning. Gotta be teachable.
Right. What else? So we have 5 more minutes. Any questions that people? I had something else, but it's going to take too long. But I want to end this. So, what questions do some of the new people have, or people have in general? If I'm in front of the room, what questions do you have for me that I can potentially answer? Anything.
Do you guys ever work on like that manual that's a standard for the whole team that kind of tells you step by step of every like scale of the business? Do you ever work on that?
So that's a good idea. We used to have what we called the playbook, and it was a team manual. And first it was really paper that we stapled, then it became a PDF. The business has just evolved so much, especially after COVID, that we're really going to need to revamp and put something together. But really, all of this can be explained in that manual. Should it be a manual or should it be a series of videos? These are always the things that we're thinking about, right? Where you plug in and then it's like, hey, watch this course, and then a lot of these things I'm saying, they'll hear me say, there's a million things like that, okay? But yes, it's something we have to work on. What else?
Do we have this in like a book at all?
That's what he's saying. He's saying that it should be in some type of manual.
Oh, okay.
I think if we had something more, and I brought this to your attention, where there's a flow where we can just, how when you attend the course, it says chapter 1, but it's in videos, and how to do this, how to do this, how to put an app in, how to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it would really transition all of us as a whole collectively, if we could just say, hey, you know what I mean, like more, like right now, I mean, that's right now, but for me, with my team, I'm like trying to do a lot for them, but that's partly my fault, But that's because if it's hard to get time sometimes, but what I'm saying is, if we have videos where it says how to put in an IDA, or how to put in, then they can just watch the video step by step, and then they can just kind of do it on their own.
Okay.
So that it'll speed up the, of them being independent.
All right.
Whereas you gotta you kind of have to babysit, but it kind of helps like, hey, if you want.
Now those videos, that's like very simple, low-level stuff. Technically, anybody can make those videos, right?
Right.
So make them, and then we'll distribute them.
I think we all have those videos for the IDA, and also the IDA is an option.
No, that's just an example.
Okay, okay.
You know, like other stuff. that
Yeah,
you-
other
you know.
stuff. So make a list of everything, and I'm sure people in the office would be happy to make those videos, and we can start to distribute them.
But I get the manuals more, this first step, like you enter this script, like that's general for everybody, because I think everybody have their own thing, just one thing for the hierarchy, because I think that's the best, because that way everybody
Yeah.
do the same.
Yeah, it's a great idea. It's just gonna take a lot of work and
No, I know.
patience.
It's gonna pay off, right? Because it's a recipe. It's like, if everybody have a recipe, so it's easy to follow. That's why everybody on YouTube can cook now, because they just following someone's recipe. So I think it can take work, but it's gonna pay off at the end.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm very confident in our process and the product and service. So after the meetings, usually we ask for referrals. I've actually had someone ask me, how do I tell someone about you? Like, what should I say, word for word? So if they want to refer me to somebody they know.
Okay, so Jen, what would you say? Stand up, please.
Hey.
Hi.
So I don't want the client to do so much work, right? There's two ways you can go about it. You can either send them a text that they can send in a three-way text to introduce, that potential client to you.
So an example of what the text would say.
Yeah.
So your client that asked that question, you say, hey, I got you. Send your friends this text. So you are gonna send her a template, then she just has to blast that out to people that she wants to refer you to, right? So what would that text say?
So I switched it up a little bit and I said, hey, hey, I just sat down with a financial coach that really changed the way that I view my finances. I felt you would deserve to hear the same thing. So just as a personal favor, please take a 2-minute call from Jen Lee at 202 so-and-so. She's also attached to this message.
Okay.
And then that way it's a personal introduction, just like you did with your trainer for character reference, right?
Yeah.
But if the client doesn't want to send the text, which I do a pretty good job now where my clients don't say too much. And I say, hey, I don't want you to do the work for me, just let them know I felt you deserve to hear the same financial education. Jen's gonna call you, just take the call at least,
Okay.
right? Pretty simple.
Awesome.
Would that work for you, Desiree?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, that's good. What else?
I have two questions actually. So, my first question is, so let's say a new recruit, they pay for their licensing, the 124 or not, and they, kind of going back to what you said, they quit. What can you do after that? Could you motivate that, or could you just get it?
So we have another cliche. Since you use the word dead, it's easier to give birth than to bring people back from the dead.
Right.
So the amount of energy it's gonna take to get someone, right, is you can take that same amount of energy and find somebody new. It doesn't mean that you don't follow up, especially if it's someone that you know, keep them on your threads, don't kick them off, don't take them off. Continuously share your progress if it's someone that you know, but in general, dude, we gotta move on, because a lot more people are gonna quit than are gonna stay.
Second question is, what would you tell someone who wants to go full-time, like say you've been on appointments, got their license, but just not independent yet? What would you tell someone who wants to be independent?
I mean,
Or full-time.
if you wanna go full-time and you're not independent, then you have to have your trainer on double the amount of appointments than normal, because if you're not independent, then you're splitting the sale with your trainer. So you gotta be on, 6, 7, 8 appointments a week minimum with your trainer if you wanna be full-time. And that's a different question for everyone. Like, she's making 120, that's a different conversation than if you're making 30 grand a year. I don't know how much you make, I'm just saying, right? So it just depends on what someone's financial situation is. but full-time is your ability to get in front of people. If you can get face-to-face with people, recruits and clients consistently, you can be full-time. Full-time is not, you know, now I don't have a job, so I have all this extra time. That's not full-time. Full-time is like, you are grinding, you know? How many calls do you make over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday?
Probably like 150.
Yeah, this is what people are doing.
Thank you.
How many did you get? How many got set? Probably like 30, 40. That's a pretty good ratio.
What else? Anything else?
Licensing, like moving inbound, we got a lot of people scheduled, gotten educated them, but when they don't pass, it's like crickets. It's like, how do we get them to do that again? I had passed my gun the first time, and then have I got appreciate creation, so I know it's been done, so it's like, how is it gonna be taken?
Do they talk to you after they don't pass, or do you
Yeah,
just
it's
go
not
over
really
your
much about it.
So what are the things that we say? Like if Dylan, your test is this week, right?
Wednesday.
Wednesday. If he doesn't pass, I basically have a recording of what I say.
Yeah.
Because you don't say, there's not a different thing to say every single time. It's what I really believe, and I'm gonna tell him what I believe every single time. There's no correlation to your ability to pass a test and to do and be successful in the business. It has no bearing. It does not matter, right? Some of the biggest income earners in the company that have thousands of people on their team failed the test. Imagine if they didn't take it again. How many lives would not have been changed? Right? And now that, hey, the positive thing, Dylan, is that you actually got a good look at the exam. So now, second time going in, you actually know what you're going into, right? So it's an advantage that you got to take it once. Now, 10 years from now, if you're making 300 grand a year, are you gonna look back and say, oh, but remember when I failed the test? No one remembers, no one cares.
Nobody gives a
Actually, it'll be a
shit.
badge of honor.
Right.
You'll be able to say, I failed and I'm making 300 grand.
Maybe Will and I.
And some people are even like, you know, like, they're like concerned about their grade. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. I got a 78 on my life. That does not define my business.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
We pass
I
it.
tell people, I only want you to get a 70. I don't care, I don't want you to overstudy.
I just want to pass.
Anything else? All right, guys, so we have a big week. Month end is Friday at midnight. We gotta throw in whatever we can. Let's have a very productive week. See you guys on Wednesday for the hot team on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, yeah, so also Anthony.